first thought in each of their minds was that it was much worse than anything they had imagined. It looked like human violence had been even more terrible than the desert, and the possibilities suddenly escalated in an entirely new direction. Dead bodies of naked women and girls were scattered everywhere. There was a dead man with a club lying near him. These were the disturbing scenes that Border Patrol Agent Ochoa discovered in the beginning of Escape by Aron Spilken. I believe this quote really sets up the underlying disturbing mood throughout the entire book. It takes place in El Salvador during the 1980s and details the story of a bunch of El Salvadorian immigrants traveling from El Salvador through Guatemala and Mexico up into Arizona across the U.S. border. Once in the deserts of Arizona, the group really struggles to survive, and that's where the bulk of the story occurs, detailing the horrors of living out in the desert with very little resources or water. Due to the fact that there is such a large amount of characters in the story, it is hard to pinpoint who the main ones were. However, the author makes it clear who the antagonist of the story was. His name, Jorge. Throughout the story, Jorge deceives and steals money from the Salvadorians that are taking his route to the United States, and even in the end of the book, he resorts to violence against all the women and men in the group when he realized that times were indeed very desperate. The main theme of Escape is violence and political instability throughout Central America. As evidenced by the quote, "By now, people in El Salvador hesitated to even go out during the daytime. His wife stopped at every corner and peered around the edge of every building before she crossed the street. Too many people had already blundered into fatal crossfire, and some deaths were not accidental, but an expression of frustration and malice." Overall, I would definitely recommend this book to anybody interested in learning about Central America's history during the 1900s and 1980s especially, or people that are just looking to read a good adventure-type story, if you know what I mean. And that concludes our book review for today. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to read Escape by Aron Spilken.